Hi there, how's it going? So, it's finally time for me to rank all the James Bond films. And this is one of these videos that I've had in mind to doing for so long, and I really think it's about time because this is my favorite franchise in the whole world. This beats everything for me. The history of these films, the the characters, just everything about these films really is my jam, and I just it's time. Bond. James Bond. The tuxedos, the martinis, the gadgets, the villains, the cars, and of course the one-liners. For over 60 years, the James Bond franchise has given us some of the greatest action films ever made, and also some of the most ridiculous. But where do they all stack up? Today I'm ranking all 25 official James Bond films from worst to best. I mean, some are timeless classics, other are guilty pleasures, and a few are, well, yeah. This list is my personal ranking, so grab your Walther PPK, pour yourself a martini, shaken, not stirred, obviously, and let's dive in. Coming in at 25 is none other than the swan song of our great Sean Connery. Diamonds are forever. Sean Connery, he returned after On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but this comeback feels more like a paycheck than a performance. Although it's a little bit more livelier here than he was in You Only Live Twice, I definitely can say that. The action is uninspired, except for the fight scene in the elevator was pretty good. They were trying to, of course, an action scene that was as good as the one from Russia with Love, I heard, which it's not, but it's pretty good in its own way. Blofeld is dressing in drag. It might be the single strangest moment in Bond's history. Yeah, along with many other things. I mean, Connery is still charismatic, but the film around him is limp and goofy, and for me this is just rock bottom of Bond. Really campy, and the plot is not interesting to me, and it's really ridiculous. This is the first film, of course, that is really ridiculous. For the first, I would say, controversial pick, having this so low, 24. For your eyes only. After the madness of Moonraker, the franchise tried to get serious again. Admirable in concept, I suppose, but the result to me is just dull. Everything about this film is really dull, it's uninteresting, the plot is uninteresting, the villain is uninteresting. There's nothing that I'm waiting for. I'm not waiting for this scene or this character, except for the scene where Roger Moore puts the car down from the cliff, pushes from the cliff. That's pretty cool. And also when the film ends, well, not just because it's ending, but that's a good thing though. Also the bird, the scene with the bird, Bond, feels like a movie made for TV because they were trying to go from that grandeur Moonraker thing to something more low ball, you see, and it's just doesn't really hit the mark for me. Number 23.
You only live twice, Mr. Bond.
Iconic in look, the volcano Leia. Ninjas, the sweeping John Barry score, the opening song is good. Deeply problematic for me, Sean Connery, he feels bored here, lacks energy from the previous films, and the Bond in disguise as Japanese subplots are just absurd. And the story piles on spectacle without much logic. Pacing is clunky. While it gives us some legendary imagery, nice cinematography, the way that camera is moving on top of the roof in the fight scene somewhere in the middle of the movie, and that's pretty good. So Lewis Gilbert coming in with a style that was pretty good. Never been particularly fond of this one. Okay, coming in at 22, Quantum of Solace. It's all just action without an interesting story for me. Nice action scenes, sometimes the camera is the editing is a little bit too over the top, but the story just doesn't get me going. It starts off with a nice action scene, and then they try to get some story going, and it's not working, and then they go to the opera, which is the best scene in the film for me, and then after that, it's not interesting anymore. I mean, coming off Casino Royale, expectations were sky high. Unfortunately, what we got here is just a messy rust sequel. Coming in at 21, this one has moved up in my ranking. This one always used to be at the bottom, always, without a doubt in my mind, but on a recent rewatch, I guess I found it at least watchable, and I was somewhat interested in the plot, which is a first for me. This is actually the first Bond film I saw in theaters, so coming in at 21, Die Another day. The film starts promisingly with Bond captured and tortured, but quickly spirals into invisible cars, ice palace, and the CGI looks terrible in this film. The early 2000s CGI, it's just not, no. And Halle Berry is wasted in this film. Terrible character for me. Not good acting, guys. If we sum it up a little bit, this feels more like an Austin Powers film rather than a James Bond film. The series needed to revitalize itself after this for a reason. Coming in at number 20, Man with the Golden Gun. Christopher Lee, he is excellent as Scaramanga, a villain who could have been Bond's equal. Sadly, the movie wastes him. It's a waste opportunity, waste potential. Phono's duel is a great idea, and it could have been an epic fight at the end. But what we get is just lazy, and the script is a little bit all over the place. The humor lands a bit awkwardly. To me, it's such a wasted potential of a film. You have such a great villain. You have a good story. You have a good plot going on. It doesn't hit the beats that it should. And don't get me started on that knick-knack character. Really annoying for my taste. Coming in at 19, With a View to a Kill. A View to a Kill. Roger Moore is 57 here, and it shows. The film has some fun elements, like Duran Duran's theme song is the best Bond theme song up to this point in the series. Grace Jones's Mayday. Wow, what a character. Christopher Walken, he actually holds the film up for me a bit. He gives a great over-the-top villain performance. Really enjoyable. It has that TV element feel, such as For Your Eyes Only. Golden Gate Bridge climax should have been more than it is. But the music and the score keeps it going. Not the best send-off for Moore, which Octopussy definitely would have been. But there's something to like here. For me, it's like a guilty pleasure kind of a watch. I do like this film. I do. But not really. So coming in at number 18 is Spectre. Beautifully shot, especially that Mexico City opening, wow, but weighed down by a convoluted script. Trying to tie all of these Craig films together into one master plan just doesn't work. Christopher Waltz's Blofeld, it feels so wasted.
The forced romance here, it's also a bit of a drag, I have to say.
I really enjoy the film up to the point where when they get off the train, the film gets duller for me. I guess I start to see that the action scenes are feeling a bit rushed and uninteresting because the urgency of them, it's really not there. The only action scene that really works for me in the film is the fight scene in the train, which, talk about urgency, you can really feel that there. Coming in at number 17, Moonraker. I don't know, I've always had sort of a fondness for this film. Bond in space, yeah. Depending on your mood, this is either glorious camp or unforgivable silliness. It's clearly a cast-in on Star Wars. This is at the time that Bond was in that kind of era where they were casting in on the things that were popular at that time, you see. So, what do you expect? It has laser battles, Jaws has a romantic subplot. It's cheesy fun if you're in the right mindset, and it's far from Bond at his best, but I do enjoy the pairing here more than the pairing in The Spy Who Loved Me, for sure. But it's kind of like the same film in some ways. It's just in space instead of underwater. And it's lazy in that way that they were just like, oh, we have to cash in on Star Wars. What do we do? Oh, we just use the same plot from the next film and we go to space. Yeah, easy. So anyway, coming in at 16, Live and Let Die. Roger Moore's debut is bold, strange, and very 70s. The blaxploitation and the kind of era influence, it hasn't aged that great. The crocodile stunt is iconic, and the voodoo atmosphere is unique for Bond. Plus, Paul McCartney's theme is an all-timer. It's a fascinating start for Moore, even if it's an uneven film. Let's compare it to For Your Eyes Only in the way that when I'm in the middle of the film, I'm realizing, wait, this hasn't happened yet, and this is, I'm waiting for this scene, and it gets me excited in a way. It's kind of like a party. Actually, my girlfriend once asked me, so what's this film about?
Gorp. Snark. Schmegel.
Number 15, Tomorrow Never Dies. A film that's ahead of its time. Not perfect, but it's a nice action film for sure. It feels modern in that way. Like a modern action film kind of. A media mogul starting a war for ratings. Honestly, pretty ahead of its time, yeah. Brosnan is at his most confident here, I would assume, except for some one-liners that feel awkward. It's a slick and a fun entry. I really enjoyed Terry Hatcher in that film and some moments, and yeah, it's okay. Number 14, Thunderball. Stylish, grand, and very 60s. The underwater action sequences were, they were revolutionary at the time, but they were overdone. Of course, that's how it feels watching this film today. So it feels slow. But Connery is really in a peak form here, and Larko is a solid villain. It feels a little long, but still one of those definite early Bond film era films. Coming in at number 13. This is going to be controversial for sure. This always used to be higher for me.
The Spy Who Shagged... No, the Spy Who the Spy Who Loved Me.
I don't know, I guess I'm just not really interested in the plot of this. This is a film that takes the elements from other Bond films before it and tries to shoehorn all of the great things in it because they are really trying to, and they really want the franchise to go forward. I mean, Josh is an iconic character for sure, but he feels a little cartoonish here, more cartoonish than I remembered. I mean, it's because people bash on him in Moonraker. He feels a bit PG-13 here as well. I like the locations, the cinematography. Barbara Bach's performance feels a bit wooden to me. So the scale is massive, the humor is charming, and it's really stylish and it's cool. I mean, I suppose it's a quintessential Moore era film.
Number 12, Dear Dr. No.
The film that started it all, sleek, simple, and iconic. Connery is magnetic. Ursula Andress set the template for Bond girls, and the tropical atmosphere is perfect. Sure, it's smaller in scale than later film, but it laid the groundwork for everything to come, and I really enjoy the simplicity of it. Coming in at number 11 is Roger Moore's best film for me, surprisingly for some I would assume, Octopussy. An underrated film. I mean, sure, he dresses as a clown, there's a Tarzan yell, there's some ridiculous elements here, but the way that they drive the story forward, even Roger Moore here, this is his best performance for me, definitely. The Cold War spy games, circus, espionage, and the train climax, generally thrilling. Maud Adams is strong here in the role of Octopussy, and the film balances camp with seriousness better than most. So I feel like this one just sums up Roger Moore's era perfectly. So coming in at number 10, probably the most difficult film for me to rank because it's so different in a way from other films.
Number 10, No Time to Die.
The most divisive Bond film ever. Daniel Craig's swan song gives something unprecedented. Bond with a family and Bond's death. It's long, emotional, and heavy. Also stunningly shot, definitely, and deeply ambitious in a way. It feels convoluted at times a little bit. Craig is in top form here, definitely much better than from the film prior. He and Ralph Fiennes really work off each other greatly. And while it may not be the most fun Bond film, it's definitely powerful, so it depends on your mood, but it's really a different film. It doesn't really feel like a Bond film in a way.
Number 9, On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
It feels like a classic film. The romance feels real, the action is top-notch, the ending is absolutely devastating. Lazenby isn't Connery, but he brings vulnerability that few Bonds attempt. A flawed gem in a way, but it is a gem.
Diana Rigg's performance enhances the film, it elevates it, and the classic film vibe that it has, it's very interesting. Number 8. The world is not enough. Family motto.
Controversial for some, I would assume. So Brosnan's most underrated outing for sure. The Electra King twist it's pretty cool. She's a nice villain, great actor, great actress. She really steals the show here. Brosnan gets to show some real emotion. I mean, sure, Dennis Richards is not believable. It's kind of laughable. But the film is tense, sleek, and surprisingly layered. I just feel like it hits all the right beats for a film.
Well, except for maybe the action scene in the caviar factory thing. It's just loud and all over the place. Number 7. The living daylights.
Dalton's debut here is sharp, grounded, and thrilling. The Cold War espionage plot is engaging, the action is inventive, and Dalton brings a brooding intensity that prefigures Craig. He really takes control of this short-lived era of his. The cargo plane sequence is a highlight of the franchise. Just an interesting film to follow from start to finish for me. Great reinvention, a great plot, a great score, even though that the villains are somewhat uninteresting. Great film.
Number 6, License to Kill.
Dalton, again, this time darker, bloodier, and more personal for sure. It's definitely a very personal plot driving the film forward. Bond goes rogue on a revenge mission. The result is raw and brutal. At the time, it was too dark for some audiences, for sure, but today it feels ahead of its time.
Pam Bouvier being one of my favorite Bond girls. Robert Davi, he's awesome as the villain. It's a very easy plot to follow.
A blueprint for the Craig era, for sure.
Number 5, Goldfinger. He's the man, the man. This is where the Bond formula crystallized. Gadgets, cars, larger-than-life villains, and suave charm.
Can't be sure, but just lovable and awesome. Odd Job, Pussy Galore, the Aston Martin DB5. It's just pure Bond. Some elements haven't aged perfectly, sure, but that's also charming in a way. This is one of the most influential action films ever made.
Number 4, From Russia with Love. A tight, elegant Cold War thriller. Connery is at its sharpest, the Istanbul setting is perfect, and the train fight with Red Grant is one of the best sequences in the franchise.
Ahead of its time. I mean, definitely one of the best fight scenes in cinema at that time. I mean, I can't think of anything better. Can you? I mean, if you can, let me know. It's less spectacle, more spycraft, and it just works perfectly with all of the things happening on the train is perfect. Just keeps you at the edge of your seat. Great plot, great script. Although some things feel unnecessary at the end. Just a fantastic film. So now we're really down to the wire. Top 3. Wow. We've come so far.
Number 3, GoldenEye.
After a long break, Brosnan reinvigorated Bond with style. This used to be my favorite Bond film for so long. I think that the 2 films that are coming ahead here are just better, one of them being my favorite. So the Cold War here is over, the world has changed, and GoldenEye just nailed everything with a classic feel, modern but a classic feel. Sean Bean, he's a great villain. 006 versus 007 is just awesome. And of course, Senya on the top. This is an iconic, classic Bond film. Probably, for me, the last classic Bond film, somehow. And Brosnan, he's really at the top of his game here. He's just so cool in an immortal James Bond film.
Number 2, Let the Sky Fall.
Bond meets prestige cinema here. Sam Mendes crafts a beautiful, introspective film with Roger Deakins cinematography making every frame just look like an art. Bardem Silva is chilling, the action is pretty grand, and the film explores Bond past in a way no other film dared. A true modern classic, for sure. Definitely just a beautifully shot film, interesting plot with an aged and battle-worn Bond trying to get back in shape and saving the world, saving M being such a big part of the film. Love it. So number 1 for me, for no doubt in my mind, the best Bond film is Casino Royale. Perfect film from start to finish. Awesome reboot of the series. Awesome debut of a Daniel Craig film. There's so many layers in this film. The action is top notch. Great directing. Martin Campbell coming in again for the second time to reinvent the series. The Vesper romance, it's believable. The acting here is some of the best up till this point in the series. The script, without a doubt, the best script in all of the Bond films. Daniel Craig, he really sells this character. He really sells the action. This isn't just the best Bond film, it's just one of the best action films of the 21st century. So there you have it. All 25 James Bond films ranked from worst to best. From space lasers to poker tables, from invisible cars to emotional farewells. Every era of Bond has something unique to offer. But what about you? What's your personal number 1? Did I rank your favorite too low? Let's just get the debate going in the comments now, shall we? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more film breakdowns and rankings. Until next time, keep it cool, keep it classy, and remember, nobody does it better.